They call them the golden years, but sometimes they don't feel so golden. When you're young, aging seems so far away. You think 80 is when you'll finally slow down, rest, and enjoy what you built. But when you get there, no one tells you how different life actually becomes. It's not just the wrinkles, the slower steps, or the medications. It's the quiet, the long stretches of silence between phone calls, the chair at the dinner table that's no longer filled, the holidays that used to be loud, now marked by memories more than moments. And yet, few people talk about it. That's why this video matters. We're going to dive deep into the 5 brutal realities of life after 80, especially when it comes to loneliness. These aren't complaints, they're truths. Honest, raw, and sometimes painful truths that every senior and every person who loves a senior needs to understand. But I promise you this, for every tough reality we talk about, there's also a pathway to hope, healing, and even joy. You haven't reached the end. You've just entered a chapter that requires more courage and more heart than ever before. So, whether you're 80, 90, or caring for someone in their later years, this message is for you. Let's begin. Not with fear, but with understanding. Because the more we understand, the more we can fight back against the isolation so many seniors feel but rarely talk about. Reality 1. Loneliness doesn't shout, it whispers until it's all you hear. Loneliness doesn't always look the way people imagine. It's not just about sitting alone in a room or eating dinner by yourself. It's about the invisible weight that settles in your chest and never quite lifts. And it doesn't arrive suddenly. It sneaks in over time. It begins with small things: fewer visitors, less mail, unanswered texts. A friend gets sick, another moves away. The world keeps spinning, but you feel like you're watching it from behind a glass wall. You tell yourself it's okay, that you're used to it, that you're fine. But the truth, you're not. According to the U.S. Surgeon General, loneliness has become a national epidemic, with effects just as harmful as smoking or obesity. And for those over 80, it's even more severe. Loneliness increases the risk of dementia by 50%, heart disease by 29%, and stroke by 32%. This isn't just emotional pain, it's a real threat to your health. But here's the beautiful thing about loneliness. It can be broken, sometimes with just one brave act. Let me tell you about Miriam, an 86-year-old widow who hadn't spoken to anyone in 5 days when a neighbor dropped off a pie. Miriam invited her in for tea, and they ended up talking for over 2 hours. That one conversation sparked a weekly ritual, and soon Miriam began hosting Saturday tea time for 2 other seniors on her street. What started as one act of kindness became a new social circle. You don't need to wait for someone to rescue you from loneliness. You can start small, talk to the person at the pharmacy, ask your church about senior programs, volunteer at the library. Even a few minutes of connection a day can begin to chip away at that wall. Don't believe the lie that no one wants to hear from you. You still have stories to tell, wisdom to share, and love to give. Your voice matters. Let it be heard. Reality 2. Your circle will shrink, and you'll mourn people who are still alive. One of the harshest parts of aging is realizing that your closest friends and family may not always be around, and not just because of death. Some drift away. They forget to call, they get busy, they move far, and visits become phone calls, then texts, then silence. You may even experience what's called ambiguous loss, the grief of losing someone emotionally or socially, even if they're still alive. That hurts in a way few people can understand. When you were younger, your days were filled with conversations, chores, laughter, and responsibilities. Now you may go a full day, or more, without interacting with anyone in a meaningful way. And the people who used to understand your stories, who lived through the same eras, who shared your milestones, may no longer be here to remember them with you. That's a kind of grief that lingers. It's quiet, lingering, always just beneath the surface. You might hear others say, "You've got so much freedom now. You can rest, travel, do whatever you want." But they don't realize that freedom without people often feels more like emptiness. But here's the thing. Even if your circle shrinks, Your capacity to connect does not. Don't underestimate the power of new friendships, even in your 80s. They may not replace the old ones, but they can still bring meaning, laughter, and shared purpose. Consider Arthur, a retired postman who lost his wife and two siblings within a few years. He was drowning in grief until he joined a walking group for seniors. He was the oldest one there, but they welcomed him like family. Now he's got a new tribe, people who check on him, walk with him, share meals with him. Action step, reflect on the people who are still here. Who could you reach out to today? Who might need you just as much as you need them? Because even though the past may be behind you, connection is always in front of you. Reality 3, the world may start to feel like it's moving without you. One day you wake up and realize you don't recognize the world anymore. You turn on the TV and barely understand the slang. Your grandkids are glued to phones and talking in abbreviations. You walk into a store and everything is self-checkout. The people at the counter don't even make eye contact anymore. It feels like the world is sprinting ahead and you're just standing still, watching it pass by. This is a reality few talk about, the feeling of being left behind, of becoming irrelevant, and worst of all, of being forgotten. But you are not irrelevant. You're still full of insight, perspective, and presence. It's just that you may have to fight harder to insert your voice into a world that no longer makes space for elders the way it used to. Don't stay silent. Write your memoir. Start a YouTube channel, even if just for family. Record voice messages with your memories. Write a letter every week to someone you love. The world may not slow down, but that doesn't mean your wisdom can't be heard. Action step, learn one small piece of technology that helps you stay connected. A video call app, a voice recorder, a tablet. Because even if the world moves fast, there are ways to keep up without losing yourself in the process. Reality 4, physical decline leads to emotional retreat, if you let it. Aging changes your body in ways you never quite expect. The stairs become steeper. The sidewalks feel bumpier. The walk from the bedroom to the kitchen takes longer than it used to. It's not just about getting slower. It's about the effort it takes just to do the things that used to be simple. And that effort, it can make you give up. You start skipping events, turning down invitations, staying home just for today, and then again tomorrow, and the next day. Soon your world gets smaller, not because you want it to, but because your body makes it harder to keep it big. This is one of the most dangerous cycles of aging. Physical limitation leading to social isolation, which leads to emotional withdrawal. But here's the truth. Your body may change, but you are not broken. There are tools, aids, strategies, and communities built specifically to help you stay mobile, safe, and active. Walkers, hearing aids, stair lifts, these are not signs of weakness. They are instruments of independence. Look at Grace, 88 years old. After a fall in her home, she was scared to go out. For 6 months, she stayed indoors, slowly losing her confidence and her strength. Her daughter finally convinced her to try a senior exercise group at a nearby center. Now she's gained back strength, but more importantly, she's made new friends and laughs again. Don't let shame or pride rob you of support. Action step, talk to your doctor about physical therapy. Invest in devices that help you move easier. Join a fitness class for seniors, even if it's online. Every little step matters. Reality 5. Emotional loneliness is the most painful and invisible form. There is a kind of loneliness that no one sees. You're around people. You smile. You nod. You say all the right things, but inside you feel like a ghost. This is emotional loneliness, and it's the most painful kind. It happens when people treat you like a burden, when you feel invisible at the dinner table, when your stories are met with polite smiles instead of curiosity, when your emotions are dismissed as just old age. You start to wonder, does anyone really know me anymore, or care to? And that emptiness, it cuts deep. But there's a way through it. You have to be brave enough to be vulnerable, to open up about what you feel, to tell someone, I'm lonely. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a cry for connection. And it's okay. Find a counselor who specializes in senior mental health. Join a grief group. Talk to your spiritual leader. Or even write your feelings in a letter. If not to someone else, then to yourself. And most of all, don't give up on people. You may have to try 10 times before you find someone who truly sees you. But that person is out there. Action step. Express something personal today. Share a memory, a fear, a joy. You'd be surprised how many people are waiting to feel something real too. You are not alone in this chapter. If this video touched your heart, please know you're not alone. Life after 80 is not easy, but it's still life. And life means growth, change, beauty, and connection. Don't let the silence convince you that your story is over. It's not even close. If you're watching this, let it be a spark, a reminder, a sign. Pick up the phone, walk outside, share your truth. You still have so much to give, and we see you, we hear you. And here at Elderly and Wise, we walk this journey with you. Subscribe to join our community, and in the comments, tell us, what's one way you fought loneliness after 80? Your words might help someone else more than you know. Until next time, stay connected, stay courageous, stay wise.